Hello everyone, I'm back. Yes, I've been to North Yorkshire for a couple of nights with the dog and it was alright. The place was nice, but the dog decided to play up the whole time. She ran away twice from me. Yes, so she got a bit of a talking to. Anyway, I'm going to talk about something I don't really know loads about in a second. But first, just a couple of updates. So the scammer person, surprise, surprise, were not able to do any videos. So yes, unfortunately, you will never get those messages. And the other thing is, if you think, well, like maybe I can contact him separately out of a separate reading. Yeah, unfortunately I do see dead people, so I will recognise the person that I was speaking to, so good luck with that. Second thing I wanted just to point out, because I'm all about kind of trying to promote other people as well. When I was at the event at the weekend in Bolsover in Chesterfield, I purchased myself a new crystal ball. Woo! Now, I got this second one because I do have one which is slightly bigger, and it's just a bit of a pain in the arse to take to events. So I got this one from Frigga's Witchy Emporium, and if you've ever seen crystal balls about, you know, they're bloody expensive. This one only cost me £30. £30. So I will put their link down below in the comments if you want to go and check those out. I'm just going to put it down a sec. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today, as I say, it's not something that I'm massively knowledgeable on. So everything that I talk about here is based on limited knowledge and basically my own thoughts, really, my own musings. And again, it's something that's been kind of going off in my life recently. So I wanted to really talk about the fact that having a soulmate, or being soul bonded, as I'd rather call it, to somebody, does not mean that you will necessarily have a relationship with them. Now, I say soul bonded because for me, for many years, I couldn't get my head around the fact that we have multiple soulmates. Now, I say that because in my mind, we have one soulmate, as in somebody that we find, we fall in love with, and we just have that real special connection. Some people never find that. There is also twin flames, but I'm not touching that whatsoever. Cannot get my head around it. And yeah, I'm hoping that now Karen Goodwin from Beautiful Mind Hypnotherapy, that I spoke about the other day, I'm hoping that now she's come onto TikTok, she might be able to do some kind of short 10-minute videos to explain that stuff, because she's expert on it, really. But yeah, so these are just my kind of thoughts and opinions. Now, because I feel that you have that one soulmate in love compatibility, I'd rather call other soulmates people that we're soul bonded to. Now, for me at least, these other people that come into our lives, and we might have a real strong connection with them, and we may even have a relationship with them at some point in that lifetime. It doesn't always mean that you have to be together with them. A lot of the time, my understanding of it anyway, is that these other soul bonded people come into our lives to teach us lessons. Okay, now I can't tell you why all this happened with Heather. I really can't. I just have to have kind of a little bit of blind faith that it's, you know, there's something in the future that's going to play out. That said, because of all of this, I feel like, well, I've already been told. I've been told by people, I've been told by my guides that my next life lesson is to learn to be on my own. And just to find myself a little bit, really, which might sound really obvious. But previously, I've been the kind of person who's bounced from relationship to relationship, I suppose. You know, don't get me wrong, at times there's been like a good 6 months in between. But during those periods, I wasn't just like, right, I'm going to focus on me. It's been like, oh, if I come out of that relationship, right, gotta go online, blah, 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 you know, who wants to take me on? And I've never really spent time finding myself. And that is my next life lesson. Now, people can come into our lives and then they can go from our lives, and a lot of the time it's because, you know, no matter how we feel about them, even if we have feelings for them or love for them, either romantically or friendship wise or whatever, it doesn't mean that that's going to last forever. And the chances are that they've been brought in because either one of you, or more than likely both of you, have some life lessons to learn. Now, it can be tricky, and it's all about kind of standing up for yourself and realizing what you want. Okay, now I'm not going to go into details, but I've just been through a kind of situation, if you want to call it that, where somebody's come back into my life that I knew previously, and it's not really caused issues. That's not the right term, but there's some kind of soul connection there, basically. And because I know where I'm kind of, I say I know where I'm going, but I don't. That's the whole point. You know, for me, I know what I want to do in my business, and then anything outside of that, I'm just going to let it happen. I just want, you know, I don't want this fixed term plan. Now, don't get me wrong. If I could click my fingers and Heather came back tomorrow, and our life, you know, we could just continue with our life, of course I would do, but I can't. She's gone. I have many gifts and talents. Unfortunately, necromancy is not one of them. So, you know, I'm trying to change my life and my mentality and just go, do you know what? Let's see where it goes. You know what I mean? And in a funny kind of way, although I carry a lot of grief and I carry a lot of sadness and I carry a lot of pain, it's quite freeing, that feeling of not feeling like you're tied down to anything. Now, whether, you see, like I say, I've had the advantage, I suppose you could call it that, of being told what my next life lesson is. And I'm going to accept that and I'm going to go along with it. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I am human, and on occasion I have thought, ooh, you know, I wonder if I'm going to meet somebody and stuff like that. But I brush that to one side because I know, realistically, it's probably going to take me about 2 years. I'd say 10 then, Jesus. 2 years, give or take, to kind of find myself and get to that place where I feel 100% with me and 100% happy with who I am. Now, when you're soul bonded to somebody and they come in and they've got their own issues and stuff like that, we can try and advise them and try and guide them on kind of finding what's right for them and finding the new direction. But ultimately, you cannot save somebody else. Now, for many, many years, I've been the kind of person, especially when it comes to relationships, where, you know, without being rude, I tend to attract broken women. And I have this desire and need to try and fix them. And unfortunately, I think I get that from my father. But anyway, I'm at a point now where I don't want to do that anymore. One of Heather's best friends, who's now a close friend of mine, called Amy, made a really, really good point. And she said, the issue is that when we love ourselves 10%, if somebody then comes along and loves us 20%, we think it's amazing because they're effectively giving us twice the love. The issue is that person only has 20% love for us. The other 80% doesn't love us. If we get to 100% and we feel 100% with ourselves, then only 100% will do, and we will attract that other 100% person, and then we can just get on with our lives and we can be happy together and stuff like that. Anyway, point is, just try and find your own direction. You know, if something, don't kind of get drawn into things. Don't keep falling into the same trap. Learn those lessons, be strong, find that strength to say, you know what, it's okay to be on my own. It's okay. It's okay to focus on myself. It's not selfish. It's perfectly fine. That's my main point for today, really. Not the best video I've ever done, but, there you go. Just needed to get off my chest. Just to let you all know, Sunday night, probably going to be around 7:30, 8 o'clock, but I'll confirm that later. I'm going to be doing some free live tarot. Now, obviously, I'm not at the 1,000 followers point yet, so it's going to be streamed on my Facebook, if you just search Urban Warlock Healing. And I'm also streaming it to YouTube, if you don't have Facebook or you don't like Facebook. So again, search YouTube, Urban Warlock Healing, and I'll be offering some free 3-card draws, as well as a quick draw for the week ahead. So I'll catch you all later. TTFN.